Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the U.S. wants the war with Russia to end by June, adding both sides had been invited to the U.S. for talks next week. America proposed for the first time that the two negotiating teams, Ukraine and Russia, meet in the United States of America, probably in Miami, in a week. "We confirmed our participation," he said. There was no immediate comment from Washington or Moscow, but U.S. President Donald Trump has been pushing for an end for the conflict since he took office again more than a year ago. Meanwhile, Russia has continued its attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure, causing further widespread blackouts during freezing conditions. In comments released on Saturday, Zelensky told reporters what had taken place during the second round of U.S.-brokered peace talks in Abu Dhabi, which ended on Friday with no reports of a breakthrough. Zelensky said difficult issues remained difficult, including territorial concessions that Ukraine is under pressure to make. He said the parties discussed, for the first time, the possibility of a trilateral meeting between leaders, not simply representatives, but cautioned preparatory elements are needed for this. Asked whether a time frame had been given for an agreement, the Ukrainian leader replied, "The Americans say that they want to do everything by June. Why before this summer?" he added. "We understand that their domestic issues in the U.S. will have an impact. These issues include the November midterm elections, which could affect the balance of power in the U.S. government." As the diplomacy continues, so too are Russian strikes on Ukraine's energy facilities. Russian criminals carried out another massive attack on Ukraine's energy facilities, Ukraine's energy minister Denis Shmyhal wrote on Telegram. Substations which control the flow of electricity and overhead power lines that form the backbone of Ukraine's power grid were targeted, Shmyhal said. Power plants were also struck. Ukraine's state-owned energy operator, Ukrenergo, said the power deficit in the power system of Ukraine significantly increased as a result of the latest attacks. Shmyhal said neighboring Poland had been asked for emergency power supplies. Zelensky wrote on social media that Friday night's attack involved more than 400 drones and 40 missiles. Air defense systems intercepted most, but not all of them, the Ukrainian military said. The main targets were the energy grid, generation facilities, and distribution substations, he said, adding that damage had been reported in at least 4 regions. In the western region of Lviv, the Dobrotwir power plant came under attack, leaving thousands of people without electricity, according to the regional head, Maxim Kozitsky. At least 6,000 people were without power as a result of hourly power outage schedules, he added. The Burshtyn power plant was also struck in the nearby Ivano-Frankivsk region. DTEK, which runs both the Dobrotwir and Burshtyn plants, said it was the 10th massive attack on its power plants since October 2025. In total, DTEK thermal power plants have been attacked by the enemy more than 220 times since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, the company added on Telegram. This was launched by Russia nearly 4 years ago. One person was reported dead in the Rivne region, and several were injured in Zaporizhia. Rivne's head, Oleksandr Koval, said there was also damage to homes and critical infrastructure. In Kyiv, residents once again took shelter in metro stations. Among them, Oksana Kiktenko told the Reuters news agency, "They, Russians, make us live in inhumane conditions, without heating, without electricity." A drone strike in the city of Yagotin, about 10 kilometers away, caused a fire at a warehouse complex, the Ukrainian Emergency Services said. Ukraine has also attacked Russia, striking a factory that makes missile fuel components in the western Tver region, according to media reports quoting Ukrainian security officials. Further south in the Saratov region, an oil depot was also hit, Ukraine said. Russia has not commented on any of the latest attacks. Moscow renewed its attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure on Monday after a pause U.S. President Donald Trump had asked Vladimir Putin to observe due to the fierce cold in Ukraine. Trump said the pause lasted for a week until last Sunday, but Kyiv disputed the timeline. DTEK said the combined missile and drone strikes caused the most powerful blow to infrastructure so far this year. Moscow must be deprived of the ability to use the cold as leverage against Ukraine, Zelensky wrote on X on Saturday, responding to the latest strikes. Russia has also accused Kyiv of not being serious about securing a lasting peace. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Friday blamed Ukraine for the shooting of a high-profile general in Russia's military, saying it was aimed at disrupting the negotiation process. It is not yet known who was behind the shooting. Some 55,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed since Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February 2022. The BBC has confirmed the names of almost 160,000 people killed fighting on Russia's side in Ukraine.